A very good afternoon to all my beloved viewers. I am Dr.M.Usha, working as lecturer in English in Government Degree College, Puttur, Chittor district. Students, today I am going to teach you a lesson that is prescribed in your syllabus. Well, I am not going to teach you, I am not going to tell you the lesson which I am going to teach, but I am going to give you an activity through which you will be able to tell me what lesson I am going to teach. Here comes the activity. Now, I am going to give you an activity. What you have to do is match the following. Look at the chart. Towards your left, you have pictures, that is 6 pictures, and towards your right, you have 6 words. What you have to do is match these words towards your right, towards the pictures into your left. I am going to give you 2 minutes. Students, towards your left there are lot of vehicles, towards your right these are the drivers who are going to drive those vehicles. I am going to give you 2 minutes. So, a loco pilot is a person who operates the train for the entire journey, and a pilot is a person who operates or controls of an aircraft. A helmsman is a person who steers a boat, and a taxi driver is a person who drives a taxi. I think everybody knows a taxi driver. And a captain is a commander of the ship. He controls and directs the entire ship with his crew. And finally comes the word charioteer. A charioteer is a person who drives a chariot. So, dear students, you would have now guessed what I am going to teach you. Yes, you are right. I am going to teach you the short story, The Beloved Charioteer, authored by Shashi Deshpande. So, now I would like to say something about the author Shashi Deshpande. My slots are, I have divided the lesson into 3 slots. First, I am going to say something about the lesson and the author, and my second session goes on with developing vocabulary, and my third session starts with language activity. Now, I would like to say something about the author Shashi Deshpande. Shashi Deshpande is an award-winning Indian novelist. She was born in Dharwad, Karnataka. She has written children's books, novels, short stories, essays, and she has won many awards. I would like to mention a few. She has won Sahitya Academy Award and the 4th most civilian award, that is Padma Shri. This is what I want to say about the author. Now, coming to the story, there are 3 characters in the story. These are the main characters. Aji, the grandmother. Aji is a word from Canada, from Karnataka. Its meaning is grandmother, and then comes Aarti, her daughter, and finally Preeti, the granddaughter. Look at the pictures. She is Aji, this is Aarti, and this is Preeti. Now, I would like to tell you the story in brief. Aji was blessed with 2 sons and a daughter, but unfortunately she lost her husband, and she also lost her 2 sons who never grew up. Now she is left all alone with her only daughter, that is Aarti. Now Aarti is married and she is pregnant by 7 months, and at this time unfortunately she loses her father. Her father dies of a massive heart attack, and when she is 7 months pregnant she also loses her husband Madhav. Later, Aarti gives birth to a little girl called Preeti. Now, at present, the 3 women, Aji, Aarti and Preeti, are living in the same house. I would like to say something about Aji. Aji has sacrificed her entire life. During her early married life, she changed her daily routine and even her food habits for the sake of her husband. Whereas her husband treated her like an object to satisfy his sexual desires. She has changed herself completely to suit to the needs of her husband and his family. She loved two persons in her life, that is her father and her husband. Aarti's married life was full of love and understanding. She was very, very happy with her husband. Well, the two persons whom she cared and loved have died. She is now very sad, highly depressed in the house. She neither does domestic work nor looks after her family. She spends most of her time smoking. She doesn't talk to anyone, neither to her mother nor her daughter Preeti. She does not play with Preeti. She even scolds Preeti for no reason. Whereas Ajji takes complete care of Preeti. Preeti is well fed and well dressed by Ajji. Now comes the last character of the story, Preeti. She is daughter of Aarti. She is the most energetic character in the short story. Her father had died. She lost her grandfather too, and her mother doesn't like her. She is completely a neglected child. Preeti's caretaker and her best friend in the house is her grandmother Ajji and not her mother Aarti. Now comes the climax of the story. Soon Ajji realizes that this situation should be changed for the sake of her daughter and granddaughter. She decides to counsel Aarti. Ajji makes Aarti realize her responsibility. Now I would like you to tell the story in detail. So Aarti never communicates with her mother and she never takes care of her baby Preeti. So one day Ajji decides to counsel her daughter Aarti. So Aarti always finds solace in her father's room. So always she sits in her father's room and she constantly keeps thinking of her father as well as her husband. And now one day Ajji has decided to counsel her daughter. She wants to make her daughter realize her responsibilities. So suddenly she enters into the room where Aarti is sitting. So right now Aarti is sitting in her room. She is sitting on a chair and her legs are on the table, and on the table there is a photo frame of her father. She was smoking too. As Ajji suddenly enters into the room, Aarti gets confused, and in a state of confusion she gets up just to see her mom suddenly entering her room, and by chance the photo frame of her father falls down on the ground and it breaks into pieces. And now Aarti tries to gather all those broken pieces into her hand, but Ajji says, Aarti, please don't pick them up. Let it go. Just let it go. Like now she cups her hands together and says, look Aarti, this is my husband and this is me. We were living together very happily, but once he died, I just let him go. So also you to do the same thing, just let them go. But Aarti says, Mom, no, I can't let him go. I'm his daughter. Well, I'm your daughter too. But Ajji says, you are nothing. You are just like the smoke. You are just like the ash that you are smoking. And even my married life was also like yours. Let me tell you how I suffered in my married life. Just Aarti, listen to me. When I was married, my husband, that is your father, treated me not like a woman and not like a human being with emotions and feelings, but he treated me like an object. He never liked women to be untidy. So I used to get up early in the morning, and before he got up, I used to dress up myself neatly and comb my hair neatly. Another thing which your dad doesn't like is he does not like even a single strand of hair falling on the ground. So I was always so scared to see a strand of hair. Of course, I used to comb my hair in the backyard. And the thing which he doesn't like is he doesn't like women crying. So the natural emotions which we have ability to express, I am unable to do. So even when your two brothers died, I was not able to cry. I went into my room secretly and then I cried. So then Aarti says, Mom, I don't want to listen even a single negative point about my dad. Please, I don't want to listen. But Ajji continues, see, you have to listen now. And during nights, I was so scared to cough because that might disturb my husband. And whenever I was thirsty, I was even unable to get up from the bed and have a glass of water. Again, I'm scared that that would disturb your dad. And now she says, I have never won the love of my husband, neither have I won the love of you. You always liked your father, not me. But now in my life there is a ray of hope, and this is nothing but your daughter Preeti. She is my beloved charioteer. So after listening to this entire narrative said by her mother, Aarti, she looks at her mother because even Aji starts crying, and suddenly Aarti goes away from the room. She runs away from the room. And finally, Aji, she just collapses in the chair. When she is in this state, suddenly she hears a voice from outside. Grandma, I'm home. I'm back from school. Wow, this is her ray of hope. So now students, can you tell me who is the beloved charioteer here? Is it, sorry, is it Aji or Aarti or Preeti? So just now I said who is her beloved charioteer. Still I am going to give you one more clue. Well, in the textbook it is clearly written that the driving force which Aji has in her life is none other than Preeti. So Preeti is the beloved charioteer here. This is the story in brief. I hope students you would have understand what I told you. And now this is a chart prepared by my second year students, and he is Mr. Chandu. So after having taught this lesson, I asked them to prepare a chart that tells you something about your problems in life. So this is a life skill which I am going to teach you. Just look at the chart, my dear students. Do you have a problem in your life? Look to your right side. If you don't have any problems, it is no. Then why do you worry? Now come to the left side of the chart. Do you have a problem? Yes. Is there anything you can do about it? If you can't do anything about it, then why do you worry? Yeah. Is there anything you can do about it? Yes. So when there are solutions to the problem, then why do you worry? So worrying won't stop the bad stuff from happening. It just stops you from everything enjoying the good. Now take the example of Aarti. Does she have a problem in her life? Yes, she has. What is her problem? She lost her loving husband and she lost her father. Can she do anything about it? Can she get them back again? No. Then why should she worry? But still, she is worrying. So now take Aji. Aji has a problem? Yes. She lost her sons, she lost her husband, she lost her son-in-law, and now her daughter, she never communicates with her. But still, she has sought out some solutions for this problem. Yes, her solution is in the form of Preeti. Preeti is her beloved charioteer. So students, when you face any problem in your life, if you can solve it, then don't worry. If you cannot solve it, also don't worry. Always lead your life with lot of positive attitude. Okay, now comes the second part of my lesson, developing vocabulary. How do you develop your vocabulary? The first thing, you develop your vocabulary by either learning antonyms, synonyms, prefixes, suffixes, idioms, phrasal verbs, homophones, homonyms, and so on and so forth. But this is a different type of developing vocabulary. So, now I am taking up the topic developing vocabulary. So, you can develop your vocabulary by using the intensity of words. Well, students, there are certain words in English, though they have almost similar meanings, they are used in different situations depending on the intensity of the word. Here comes the example. I have chosen all the words from your lesson. When you read the lesson carefully, you will find all these words. Now, I have taken the word happy. So, happy can be used in different situations depending on the intensity. The first lowest range of word for happy is pleased. Next, it is glad. Next, you are satisfied, cheerful, exuberant, elated. So, what I am trying to tell you is you can use the word happy depending on the intensity. Here comes the examples. He looked very pleased with himself. I am glad to hear the news. Some people are never satisfied in their life. How can she be so cheerful always? I saw a noisy group of exuberant youngsters in the stadium. I am elated to hear that you got your dream job. So, depending upon the intensity of the words, you can use in your own sentences. Now comes my next word, smile. This word is taken from the lesson from page number 61. If you go through the lesson, you will find the word. So, these are the different types of smile depending on the intensity. The lowest one is again grin, giggle, chuckle, smile, laugh, and chortle. Now, students, I am going to give you an activity. Look at the given words and put them in an order similar to the previous chart. Can I show the previous chart? Yes. Look at the words again. Grin, giggle, chuckle, smile, laugh, chortle. So, depending on the intensity of the word, you have to arrange them. Now, I am going to give you the meaning of the words. It is your duty to arrange them from lower to the higher intensity. Mumble is, that is, you speak in a very low and indistinct manner that others cannot hear. You just make only sounds, some unpleasant sounds. Next, the word whisper, that is, you speak very softly, especially to tell a secret to your friends. Talk, you speak in order to give information or some ideas. Shout, you utter a loud cry that everybody can listen. Scream, to utter a long loud cry to express your extreme emotion. Yell, it's a long sharp cry of pain or when you are surprised or excited. So, students, I am going to give you 2 minutes time. Your duty is arrange all these words depending on their intensity. Either you arrange them in an ascending order or you can arrange them in a descending order. Yes, did you do the activity, students? Just check whether you have arranged it in this order. Here comes the answers. Yell, shout, speak, talk, whisper, mumble. Did you do it correctly? I hope you would have done so. Can we move on to the next activity? Yes. Here is the activity. Look at the given set of words and arrange them in the decreasing order of intensity. Students, watch carefully. I have asked you to arrange the words in decreasing order of intensity. Run, walk, crawl, sprint, jog, creep. So, I have selected this type of words. I have chosen one word from the textbook. So, one of these words is in the textbook. It is so I have chosen all these words. Take your own time. I am going to give it 2 minutes time. Look at the words again. I hope you understand, students. Previously, I have given you choice to arrange them either in an ascending order or then descending order depending upon the intensity. Now, I am asking you to arrange the words in decreasing order of intensity. Yes, here comes the answers to the activity 2. Check out your answers. So, you can either go from low to medium and high, creep, crawl, jog, walk, run, sprint. I hope you would have answered them correctly. Yes. Now comes my second language activity, that is narrative writing. So, this story is told in first person by Aji. She was narrating the entire story in her first person narrative. So, now I would like to say something about narrative writing. Narrative writing is a type of writing that provides an account of connected incidents or events. The main purpose of any narrative writing is to entertain and engage readers through storytelling. Well, the major elements of narrative are Welcome back. This is my third slot. Now, I am going to teach you something about the story writing. So, that too narrative writing. So, I repeat again, the narrative writing is a type of writing that provides an account of connected incidents or events. The main purpose of any narrative writing is to entertain and engage readers through storytelling. Well, this story is also said from Aji's point of view, that too it is said in first person narrative. So, this entire story is narrated by Aji. Now, I would like to explain the elements in a narrative stories. There are 4 major elements that are important in constructing a narrative. They are characters, setting, plot and point of view. First, let me take characters. For example, each story often has main characters and other characters. In this present story, the main characters are Aji, Aarti and Preeti. The other characters are Aji's husband, her 2 sons and Aarti's husband Madhav. The setting, of course, all stories have a setting. A setting is an environment in which the story takes place. Setting includes the information about the time, the place and the social conditions. In this story, the place is Aji's house, where all the 3 women are living together. But Aji takes care of the entire house, whereas Aarti is always in her dad's room. It is Preeti who moves from school to home. Then comes the other important part of the short story, that is the plot. Every story has a plot. The plot is nothing but the series of incidents that take place in a story. So, in this story also series of incidents took place. Usually the stories are told in a chronological order, but there are some stories where the story starts off in the middle, later they go back to the past and then they go into the future. So, this story is also started from the middle, but later Aji started narrating her past and then we come to the present, right. So, the plot is a series of incidents occurring in the story in a particular manner. This is about the plot. Students, now again I am going to give you an activity. What you have to do is, this is a jumbled up story, arrange them in an order. So, in order to write a story, especially a narrative story, these are the techniques you have to use. First of all, let me start off with jumbled up sentences. Here is a well known story, you all know it very well. Just arrange them in a order. I already told you the stories have a plot and the series of incidents occur in the story in a particular manner. So, now students, you have to concentrate on the series of sentences you are going to see. Look at the series of incidents occurring in the story, like you have to go on in a logical order. Now, here comes the activity. So, I am going to read out the story which are jumbled up. Once a boy was eating a bun on the roof. As soon as he opened his mouth, the bun got down. That is, the bun got down. A fox saw the bun in the beak of the crow. The crow went away and sat on the branch of a tree. Suddenly, a crow came and snatched the bun from his hand. He flattered the crow by saying that his voice was wonderful and requested the crow to sing. Immediately, the fox picked the bun and disappeared. So, the sentences are not in a particular order. It is your duty to just order them up so that you will get a very beautiful, interesting story. Have you done, students? One more minute. Now, I have arranged them for you. Did you get the same order? Just check it out. Yes. I am going to read the story now, which is arranged in a sequence manner. Once a boy was eating a bun on the roof. As soon as he opened his mouth, the bun got down. A fox saw the bun in the beak of the crow. The crow went away and sat on the branch of a tree. I am sorry, this is not arranged in an order. Here comes the next slide. Here the sentences are arranged in a order. Once a boy was eating a bun on the roof. Suddenly a crow came and snatched the bun from his hand. The crow went away and sat on the branch of a tree. A fox saw the bun in the beak of the crow. He flattered the crow by saying that his voice was wonderful and requested the crow to sing. As soon as he opened his mouth to sing, the bun got down. That is, the bun fell down. Immediately, the fox picked the bun and disappeared. So, this is the activity. So, now look at the pictures on your screen. This is also the story of a crow. Okay, this is said in first person. The story is said in first person, as how Ajji has narrated the entire story in first person. Okay. Now, look at this is already arranged in an order. So, you can just imagine that you are the crow and you can say, I am thirsty, I searched for water, I found a pot, but the water level is low. Then I got an idea. I picked up the stones. I dropped the stones into the pot. Later, the water level raised. I drank the water and I flew away happily. Right? Now, the same story can be said from third person point of view. Same story can be again repeated in the third person point of view. I repeat it. There was a crow. It was thirsty. Now I took the third person. It was thirsty. It searched for water. It found a pot. The water level was low. Then it got an idea. It picked up the stones, dropped the stones into the pot. The water level raised and it drank the water and it flew away. So, the same story we said in past tense using third person narrative. And now, my third part is, since Aarti is completely depressed, her mother wanted to get her daughter out of that depression. So, it is her responsibility to get her daughter out of her depression. So, Ajji has suffered a lot in her life. Though she has suffered a lot in her life, she has not forgotten to discharge her duties. She has taken the responsibility of a wife. She has taken the responsibility of a mother. She has taken the responsibility of a grandmother. So, now she is trying to remind her daughter Aarti her responsibilities. So, this is a story of a woman who behaved in a lot of responsible way, and she is trying to show a right path to her daughter Aarti, and she is trying to remind her the responsibilities too. So, this story shows the relationship between a mother and a daughter. So, always mother cares her children, protects her children, safeguards her children, mentors her children, especially in times of difficulty. So, in order to get the people who are under depression, to get them out, you can use the idioms or the phrasal verbs which has lot of positive thinking. Students, you can take up all the idioms and phrases that gives you something about the positive thinking. So, people who are under depression, they are not satisfied when you give them some materials or anything, but just 2 words of encouragement and motivation surely gets them out of their depression. So, here are the list of some phrases and inspirational idioms that will help the students or the people who are under the. It's time like these that even a kind word of encouragement is the best to remember the famous English idioms like, every dark cloud has a thinker sees the invisible, feels the intangible and achieves the impossible. So, if you tell them all the positive thinking and positive idioms and phrasal verbs, maybe the people can come out of their depression. Students, have you ever met people? You already have the question tags in your first year. So, I am not going to explain them in detail, just the grammar points that are necessary, just it is a brush up of the question tags. Question tags are used to check information, ask for agreement, and the first and the foremost rule is negative tags are used after affirmative sentences. An example is, It is hot, isn't it? And non-negative tags are used after negative sentences. It is not cold, is it? So, these are the sentences I have taken from the textbook. You should not bang doors that way, should you? You will do no such thing, will you? I cannot fool her, can I? She is sleeping, isn't she? I was alone, wasn't it? Wasn't I? So, now try to frame question tags to the following sentences. All these sentences are also taken from the lesson. Take your time and try to add question tags for these sentences. I think the sentences are very much visible on the screen, but still I would like to read them out for you. It is late when she wakes. She never saw her grandfather. Children are more sensitive than we think. Mommy is with you. I was very different from you. I will try to talk to her. My mommy was so pretty. I stared down at the photograph. I do not want it. I am all right. I do not want to hear. Continue.